Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got a review for you of this big old guy right here. This is the CKF Sukhoi 3 Dominance. Oh ho ho. But first off, I want to thank my buddy Nehemiah, who actually loaned this guy my way. He's another reviewer. His channel is Metal Effort. You should check him out. But anyways, he's local to me, and so periodically we meet up. I loan him some gear, he loans me, and he brought one of these guys who's just like, holy crap, that's good. I'm gonna steal this, he said. Okay, so I borrowed it from him for a little while. That's great. Next thing, let's do some size comparison in which I will demonstrate to you that this is not a small knife. Here it is against the Ontario Rat number 2, the Ontario Rat number 1, and of course your Spyderco Delica. This is a big one. This is a large freaking knife. 100% this is good sized. And I'll go ahead and measure the blade length. We are coming in here right at or around 4 inches. That's quite the blade. So there you go. Next thing, who the heck makes this? This is CKF, Custom Knife Factory. This is a company, they are based out of Russia, but they've said on their website before that some of their machining is done in China. But nevertheless, they make relatively high-end knives. Unfortunately, they're all limited editions, generally speaking. But they've made some very impressive stuff I've featured on the channel in the past. They have cranked out some gems before, and the designer on this guy is Anton Malyshev. Or Tohus is another way he's been referred to as. And as you can tell from the backspacer, he does incredible work. I'm a big fan of Malyshev's work, even though I don't own any pieces by him. This one came pretty close to that. But nevertheless, Malyshev is a very impressive designer, and combined with CKF, yeah, that's pretty good. And then finally, a quick note, this is not a factory edge. Nehemiah put this one on himself, so there you go. Let's go ahead and jump into the good, the great, the bad, the ugly of this very interesting big old freaking knife. So on the good side, to start with, CKF, like I said, they do only limited editions. We'll come back to that later, but one thing they do right is they include a set of spare parts with the knife. When you buy this knife, you get a whole set of all the various fasteners and whatnot, and that is amazing. Because if you're going to abandon your knives, you should at least give people the ability to, service them yourself. This is how you need to roll if you're even considering doing limited editions. Don't. But, that's the best way to do it, so that's good. Next thing, ergonomically speaking, this is pretty damn good in the hand. This isn't really a finger choil for me, so don't expect to choke up too much, but at the same time, this feels great in my relatively small hand. They have done very nice work here with that. Next thing, this guy has a very nice clip. You can see here it is a milled clip. It is very well sculpted, but it has the right amount of give to it. And more importantly, this carries beautifully, because it has a relatively small flipper tab that is hidden off, from everything else. And it slides into the pocket. It's got a long, tall format here. This is nice in the pocket. This carries a whole lot smaller than it is. And considering it is gigantic, well, at least by my standards, yeah, that's a thing to consider. Next thing, the blade on this is great. It is M390 blade steel, as you can see written right on there. But it has a very nice shape with some flat, some belly, and a nice tip with a, nice drop point. Overall, the lines on this flow really well. But it also has a very nice finish, sort of a very low-key blast, if you will, with a little reflectivity there, and the grind on it is great. It comes down to a very thin edge there. That is really excellent to see. I love the blade on this very much. This is also a great design. Look, I've said already, I like Malyshev's work a lot. Every damn thing I've handled by him, I like a lot. But it shows here. I mean, the feeling of the curves going throughout this knife. You've got these overall curves, then these secondary curves, and everything flows beautifully. You have a beautiful backspacer, which is a silly thing to say, but Malyshev is a master of effective backspacers. I just love the backspacer work that he tends to put in. It's really nice. And you got the low-key lanyard hole here. And design-wise, I just find this to be an attractive knife. There are elements I'm not as big a fan of. The bronze, titanium, but you know what? It works well with the carbon. This is just well done. Attractiveness-wise, that's great. Then finally, on the good side, the action on this is really good. Absolutely deploys 100%. Reliably, no problem. And then falls shut very easily. It's maybe a little bit more friction-full than some, like your Grimsmo Norseman, that kind of thing. But at the same time, this is an action that is just great. There is no complaining about this action. So, to me, that is what is great. I'm sorry, that is what is good about this little guy, is that it has a great action, great design, a great blade, great clip, nice ergonomics, and a set of spare parts included. On the great side, though, to me, is actually the effort that's put in here, and this is hard to quantify, but if you look at some knives from other higher-end makers, particularly out of Russia, you see that there's a lot going on, but a lot of what's going on is actually... It's a lot of like, okay, well, we took one piece of titanium, we milled it interestingly. This is very complex in a lot of ways. What you see here is you've got this carbon fiber overlay. You've got this little piece here which fits inside the carbon fiber overlay, and then there's also this little area here with this beautifully milled titanium, which is the same as over here. Then, in addition to that, you have your lock bar insert with the over travel stop involved there, so you've got that going on. Then, on top of that, you've got a beautiful milled clip, and then the back spacer. This is a really important little detail here. What you can see here is you've got a zirconium backspacer. Zirc is a weird metal, whatever. I'm not a huge... But the thing is, he's also included anodized titanium side pieces to go to pinch that backspacer in place. That's not functionally required, but it is really attractive. So you end up with these hints of a dark blue, coupling with this black backspacer that... Look, I just feel like they went above and beyond here. And then couple that with the internal milling that you see in the disassembly, couple that with all the other... It's very, very clear that somebody at CKF said, okay, guys, we're going for it. We are really going to push this. We're going to do our damnedest here to make an incredible knife, and they really, really did. This is eminently well done, and you get the strong sense that they are showing off just how damn nice they can make a knife. They're flexing. They're doing really good work, and they're going above and beyond here. And given, the price is high, it's $455 last I checked, but at the same time, the amount that they're doing here, they are not just doing, they're not just being conservative. They're not just milling a couple of lines into a piece of slab titanium and milling out the inside a little bit. They are going so far above and beyond that I have no problem with that price. And in fact, this knife ends up feeling like a very nice knife for the price, especially when compared to some of their competition over there. So, to me, that's what's great here, is that this is a very, very high effort knife, and as a result, it ends up feeling like a pretty good deal for the price. On the bad side, the price is, high. It's $455. I don't think it's needlessly high, though. I am perhaps more strongly than I should be considering paying that price for this knife. Considering what you're getting here, considering the excellence here, it's not a bad knife at all. I think it's very, very good in that domain. It is also very huge. That is the main thing that's keeping this out of my collection, is that this is gigantic. At 4 inches, this is bigger than what I generally like to carry. That's not going to be a problem for some. In fact, some folks are going to love it, but this is a very, very large knife. Next thing, the zirconium here. As you can see here, zirc does tend to show dings and scratches. You can usually sand that out and then retorch it to get it back to black, but, that's the one issue I have with zirconium, is it just tends to, you get these very visible scratches, but same thing with DLC and things like that. Whatever, not a huge deal. And then finally, it has loose bearings, which are going to make your disassembly just a little bit more complicated. You saw that disassembly, that kind of ambushed me, but hey, it's okay. All's well that ends well. The action on it, the results is pretty great. So, to me, that's what's bad, is that it's loose bearings. The Zirc is going to show some scratches. It is pretty huge, and $455 is a lot of money, but I think they've earned that price point here. On the ugly front, there's just one ugly issue, and that is that it is a limited edition. You can see here it is a numbered limited edition, which means that CKF has already given up on this knife. That is really disappointing to me, and that's probably the reason why you don't see more CKF on my channel. Because unfortunately, with limited editions, by the time that I can actually get a video up, usually it's already discontinued. And that's not great. I really desperately hope that CKF decides, you know what, we're just gonna, we'll make the same number, but if people keep liking them, we'll make some freaking more of them. Because that just makes it better. I don't know that anybody is out there going, oh, yes, please, limit the number of these. The only people that benefits are the eventual eBay flipper types, and that's just ugly. So I hope that they stop the limited edition game at some point in time, because that's the main reason you don't see their work more often on my channel. But when I had this guy in hand, it was just like, wow, this is good enough that I don't care. And so, but that to me is the ugly, is that it's preemptively abandoned by the maker, even though it is a very, very nice design. I wish I could recommend this guy for you years to come. And that brings us to the final conclusion, which is that this is a remarkably nice knife. It is the most impressive knife I've seen out of Russia for years, value considered, and not only does it have a great blade in it, because the blade is really good. I glossed over that on the way to all these other crazy things, but this is a really beautiful grind out of one of the best blade steels out there. And then it's got a really nice action too, but honestly, that ends up falling by the wayside because the rest of it is so damned impressive. They're going the extra mile in terms of carbon fiber. Did I even highlight the mottled carbon fiber here? I mean, they're really, really going for it here. And then the end result is a knife that is super technically impressive. And it's got this design, too, that's worth going the extra mile on. I think Malyshev did amazing work here, and this is a gorgeous knife. And then it's got this price that, even though it's pretty high, ends up feeling really, really good. The limited edition thing is definitely a turd in this knife's punch bowl, and you've got to be okay with this price. I mean, you have to be okay with the limited edition thing, and knowing that, maybe in the long term, if there's an issue, they might not be able to help. But they also ship you replacement parts, so I'm not damn. I mean, my overall feeling is, damn, this is good. And honestly, it's really good to finally see a Russian company pushing the boundaries and going the extra mile while keeping prices reasonable. I'm throwing some shade there, but honestly, I would buy this over anything in Shirogorov's lineup right now every day of the week. This is less than half the price of a Shiro 111. The build quality feels roughly the same, and I have a choice of dealers to buy it from. That's huge. And it really feels like it's trying. It's pushing the envelope. There's a level of effort in this that's just a push to make this great. It's like they sat down and said, damn it, I'm going to make this as good as I can, which I really haven't felt in a long time from that area of the world, so to speak. I happen to like Malyshev's designs, I'll admit that, but for me, there's just zero contest. The only reason that I have not bought one already, and there is still a part of me that is contemplating doing so, I have no reason to own this knife, but oh my God, is it nice. But the only reason I am not buying this knife right now is because it's a bit huge for me. If they did a 3.25-inch version of this, I would be on it like high prices on Russian knives. Whoops, did I say that out loud? But so although I am a bit reluctant to use the G word on a limited edition piece, I think I have to say it. This is a gem. This is a knife that I am genuinely considering. Even as I'm writing this review, I'm talking myself into buying one of these. I probably shouldn't, but still, oh my God, is this good? So this is a really, really impressive piece. Not just in terms of, the action and whatnot, but just in terms of that effort. This feels like somebody sat down and wanted to do their best work, and they priced it competitively too, and I freaking love that. So well done, Malyshev. Well done, CKF. You should make more of these. Stop discontinuing by design. And please, make a smaller one maybe, but mostly keep pushing the effort up and the prices down. That is how you are going to win, because the world absolutely needs to see a different side of Russian knife making, at least nominally Russian knife making, and I think this is a really, really compelling evidence of what else you can get. So anyways, there you go. I hope this was interesting, that I didn't Sukhoi you into a bad purchase. I think this would be a good purchase. I was just saying that for the pun. But mostly, I hope that you have yourselves just an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. До свидания, everybody.